My sister-in-law brought her dog to our baby's first birthday party after I told her not to. The dog knocked over the cake I spent 8 hours making. She laughed and said, "Well, now you have a story to tell." My husband said, "It's not a big deal." So I made it one. I took every gift with a gift receipt, returned them all, and donated the refund to a shelter. Then sent her the receipt. I'm not someone who asks for much. I don't like drama. I keep to myself, I keep things clean, and I always try to be kind. I don't yell, I don't cause scenes, and I usually stay quiet to avoid fights. But Denise changed that. This happened in Fort Collins, Colorado. That's where we live, me, my husband Jeff, and our son Mason. He just turned 1. I'm a stay-at-home mom right now and works at a plumbing supply warehouse. We don't have a lot. We're careful with our money. We budget, plan, and when we buy something, we make sure it counts. So when Mason's first birthday came around, I wanted it to feel special. Not flashy or expensive, just full of love. I made the decorations by hand, cleaned the whole house top to bottom, and spent 2 days getting things ready. But the thing I was proudest of was the cake. I'd been practicing baking for months. I followed this online tutorial, step by step. It was 3 layers, with a vanilla sponge, strawberry filling, and whipped frosting. I dyed the frosting soft blues and greens, made tiny stars around the sides, and topped it with a little teddy bear I molded out of fondant. It looked beautiful. The kind of cake you take pictures of. The kind of cake you imagine your baby smashing his hands into for that first birthday photo. It took me 8 hours the night before. I barely slept. I just wanted it to be perfect. And then Denise showed up. Let me tell you about Denise. She's Jeff's older sister. She's loud. She's the kind of person who always has to be right. The kind who makes everything about her, even when it's clearly not her moment. She doesn't have kids, but she has a dog, Buddy. A golden retriever. Not trained. Not calm. Not small. She treats him like a human child and expects everyone else to do the same. 2 weeks before the party, I sent out a group text to the whole family. Hi all. Just a quick note. Please no pets at Mason's birthday. We'll have food out, decorations, little kids running around, and I want to keep the space calm. Thanks. Everyone responded with thumbs up or got it. Denise? She replied with, Buddy is part of the family too. I didn't even reply right away. I waited a bit, then messaged her privately. Hey Denise, I wanted to be clear, no dogs at the party, okay? We're going to have babies and toddlers, and I'm already stressed. I'd really appreciate it if you could leave Buddy at home. No response. I told Jeff, and he just said, she probably won't bring him. Don't stress about it. But deep down, I knew better. The morning of the party, I was running around making sure everything was set. The balloons were up, the food table was ready, the cake was on display in the dining room. People started arriving. My mom brought homemade cookies. My dad set up the folding chairs. It was going really well. Then I heard barking. I froze. I looked at Jeff, who was cutting fruit in the kitchen. He went pale. I walked outside, and there she was, Denise, in a bright pink blouse, carrying a gift bag in one hand and Buddy's leash in the other. Buddy was already pulling, barking, his tail wagging like a maniac. Denise, I said, walking straight up to her. I told you no dogs. She smiled like I was joking. He'll be fine. He just wants to say hi. I asked you. Twice. I'm serious. No pets. She rolled her eyes. Come on. He's part of the family. He's good with kids. You don't get to decide that, I said, trying to keep my voice low. I'm telling you, this is not okay. Jeff came out behind me. Just let it go, he whispered. Don't make a scene. I should have stood firm. I should have told her to leave. But everyone was already arriving, and I didn't want to ruin Mason's day with a shouting match in the front yard. So I backed off. That was my mistake. Denise walked inside like she owned the place. Buddy ran in like a tornado. He sniffed every corner, jumped on the couch, knocked over a water bottle. At one point, he barked at a toddler until she started crying. I kept trying to pull Jeff aside to say something, and he kept brushing me off. It's just for a couple hours, he said. Don't make a big deal. Then it happened. I was in the kitchen pouring lemonade when I heard a crash from the dining room. I turned the corner, and my heart dropped. The cake. Smashed. Buddy had jumped onto the table, his front paws right in the middle of it. The top layer was gone. The fondant bear? Destroyed. Frosting smeared across the table. Crumbs everywhere. And Denise? She laughed. Oh my God, she said. Well, now you've got a story to tell. I didn't laugh. I didn't speak. I just stared. Jeff said, It's not that bad. We still have cupcakes, right? I left the room. I picked Mason up, went to his room, closed the door, and sat with him on the rocking chair. He played with my hair and babbled. I cried quietly, holding him against my chest. That night, after everyone left, I cleaned up the mess. Alone. Jeff kept saying it wasn't worth being upset over. That Buddy was just excited, and that it was one moment in a long life. But it wasn't just one moment. It was one moment on top of 100 others. All the little ways Denise ignored my words, treated my home like hers, and walked through my boundaries like they didn't matter. I went through every gift we got that night. Most had gift receipts. I stacked them up. I took them all back the next day. Every toy, every outfit, every book. The clerk at Target asked me if something was wrong with them. I said no. I just needed the money. It came out to $436.22. I donated every cent to the Larimer Humane Society. In Denise's name. I screenshotted the confirmation. Texted it to her with a single sentence. Now you have a story to tell. And I haven't spoken to her since. The message I sent Denise sat on read for 2 hours. No reply. I didn't expect her to say sorry. That's not her style. But I wanted her to feel it. I wanted her to understand that she wasn't just annoying that day. She wrecked something I worked hard for, and laughed like it was nothing. When Jeff got home from work the next day, I told him what I did. He stared at me. You what? I returned the gifts and donated the money. In her name. Why would you do that? Because she doesn't respect me. And you let her walk all over me in our house. He rubbed his face. You're blowing this way out of proportion.
No, Jeff.
You're just used to ignoring it. He didn't say much after that. He slept on the couch that night. The next morning, Denise finally replied.
Wow.
That's really messed up. You just punish Mason because you're mad at me? Super mature. That hit me. Not because she was right, but because it was a cheap shot. She tried to make me look like the bad guy. I didn't answer. But I didn't have to. Jeff's mom called me that afternoon. Why did you give back all Mason's gifts? She asked. So Denise had been talking. I explained everything calmly. Told her how I asked Denise twice not to bring the dog. How he destroyed the cake. How Denise laughed. How Jeff shrugged it off. She was quiet for a while. Then she said, I didn't realize it was that bad. I thought you were just being dramatic. That's what Denise said. That word again.
Dramatic. I was tired of it.
2 days later, we were invited to a barbecue at Jeff's parents' house. Denise was going to be there. I didn't want to go, but Jeff insisted. Let's just show up, eat, and go. Keep it civil. I agreed, but only to show them I wasn't afraid to stand in the room after what happened. We walked into their backyard around noon. Denise was already there, laughing with her drink in hand like nothing had ever happened. She didn't even look at me. Jeff's mom came up to take Mason from my arms. Hey, sweet boy, she said. Then looked at me. We'll keep it light today, okay? I nodded. That's up to Denise. 15 minutes in, I caught Denise whispering to one of Jeff's cousins. They both looked at me, then looked away quickly. Jeff noticed. Ignore them. But I didn't. I walked over. Something you want to say to me, Denise? She blinked, caught off guard. Excuse me? You've got a lot to say behind my back. Say it here. She took a sip of her drink, trying to act calm. You made a scene over a cake. A cake. No, I said. I made a decision after months of being disrespected. That cake was the last straw. It was just a mistake. You were told not to bring the dog. You brought him anyway. He ruined something important to me and you laughed. That wasn't a mistake. That was disrespect. People were watching now. Denise scoffed. You're crazy. Seriously. You think this makes you look strong? You look unhinged. Jeff stepped in between us. That's enough. No, it's not, I said, moving past him. You all let her walk around like she can do whatever she wants, and I'm done pretending it's fine. If nobody else is going to hold her accountable, I will. Denise stormed off toward the house. Jeff's mom looked stunned. Jeff just stood there, quiet. On the drive home, Jeff said, You really had to do that in front of everyone? Yeah, I said. I did. Because for once, I wasn't going to be quiet. I wasn't going to smile through it. Denise had pushed too far, and now the family saw what I'd been dealing with all along. A few days after that barbecue, things started to shift. I noticed Jeff acting distant. Not in an obvious way. He still helped with Mason, still made dinner once or twice a week, still slept in our bed. But he wasn't really there. He'd check his phone more than usual. Walk out on the porch to take calls that didn't need privacy. When I asked what was going on, he'd shrug. Work stuff. It didn't feel like work stuff. Meanwhile, I kept my distance from his family. I didn't want to get pulled into more fake apologies or side conversations meant to smooth things over. I didn't want to smooth anything. I wanted Denise to sit with the mess she made. But the real twist came on a Wednesday morning, 2 weeks after the party. I was folding laundry when my phone buzzed. A message from Jeff's cousin, Alana. Hey, not trying to stir the pot, but you should know something. Denise is saying some stuff about you. About Mason. About Jeff. I think you need to see this. She sent me screenshots. One was a group chat between Denise, 2 other cousins, and Alana. Denise. She's seriously unstable. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff ends up leaving her. A cousin. Damn. Denise. She flipped over a dog. Took it out on her own kid. That's not normal. Denise. Jeff told me he's been rethinking everything. He's just scared to leave because of the baby. I sat down on the bed, my heart pounding. What the hell was she doing? What was she trying to do? Jeff came home early that day, and I didn't even wait. I handed him the phone. Read this. He scrolled through, jaw tightening. Where did this come from?
Alana.
She thought I should know your sister is telling people you're planning to leave me. He handed the phone back. She's stirring shit. Is it true?
What?
Are you thinking about leaving? He shook his head hard.
No.
Jesus.
No.
I didn't say any of that. Then why is she saying it? He paced. He looked genuinely angry, but not just at her.
At me, too.
Because you embarrassed her in front of the whole family.
No.
She embarrassed herself. I just stopped covering for her. He didn't answer, just stared at the floor. That silence said more than anything else. I felt something break, right then. A line inside me. A thin cord that had been holding me up, helping me believe Jeff was still in my corner. Even if he didn't always act like it. But now I saw it. He wasn't on my side. Not really. He was in the middle. And people who stay in the middle don't protect you. That night, I made a new plan. I stayed up after Mason fell asleep. Logged into our joint bank account. Took screenshots.
Notes.
Then I started a new private email. I set up appointments with a financial counselor and a lawyer who offered free consultations. I wasn't filing anything, not yet. But I wanted to know my options. And I wanted to be ready. Because Denise had started this. But I was going to finish it. The next week moved slowly. Every little thing Jeff did started to feel off. The way he texted at night with the screen tilted away from me. The way he got quiet when I walked into the room. The way he looked like he wanted to say something. But didn't. I kept acting normal. I took care of Mason. I cooked, cleaned, smiled when I needed to. But inside, I was watching everything. And then it happened. Saturday morning, I was doing laundry when Jeff's phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. I wasn't even trying to snoop. But the message lit up the screen. Denise, you need to stop dragging your feet. If you're serious about leaving, then do it. I froze.
Picked up the phone.
Open the thread. It wasn't just Denise talking trash behind my back. Jeff had been confiding in her. For weeks. Jeff, she's getting worse. Everything's a fight. Jeff, I feel stuck. I can't even talk to her. Jeff, if it weren't for Mason, I'd be gone already. It got worse. Denise, then file.
She'll be fine.
You'll get time with Mason. Jeff, I just don't want to be the bad guy. Denise, she already made you the bad guy. Everyone thinks you're weak. I put the phone down. My hands were shaking. I went upstairs. Mason was in his crib napping. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I felt nothing, like I'd gone completely numb, until something inside me lit up. This wasn't going to end with me begging him to stay. I wasn't going to let him quietly pack up his things and leave me picking up the pieces while his sister sat back and smiled. I was going to take control. That night, while Jeff was asleep, I packed up every single thing he owned.
Clothes. Tools.
Personal items. I even unplugged his gaming console. I boxed it all. Neatly. Labeled. The next morning, I waited for him to come downstairs. He rubbed his eyes, saw the boxes, and stopped. What is this? You're moving out. What? I read the messages, Jeff. He opened his mouth, but I didn't let him speak. You've been planning to leave me for weeks.
Talking to her about it.
Not to me. So I made it easy for you. This is insane. No. Insane is pretending we still had a chance when you already checked out. Insane is letting your sister disrespect me over and over while you made excuses. I didn't mean. I'm done listening to what you didn't mean. Take your stuff and go. He stood there, stunned, like he never thought I'd actually do it. Then I pulled out the folder I had prepared. It had bank statements, documentation of our finances, Mason's medical info, and the number for a custody mediator. I talked to a lawyer. I'm not keeping Mason from you, but I'm not going to play games, Jeff. We do this clean, or we do this in court. He didn't even argue. He packed his car and left that afternoon. 3 days later, I dropped off a letter at Denise's front door. No message. Just one page. It was the donation receipt again, along with a printed screenshot of her texts with Jeff, and a handwritten note. This wasn't just about the dog. This was about respect. And now you've lost mine for good. I never heard from her again. Jeff moved into a one-bedroom apartment across town. We kept things civil for Mason. But he knows now, I'm not the one who bends anymore. I made mistakes. I let Denise cross lines for too long. I trusted Jeff to defend me when I should have defended myself sooner. But in the end, they underestimated me. And I made sure they'd never do it again.